How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Hope you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't, or if you can't hear me, you won't be able to let me know. I think it sounds okay. Puzzle Peanut, how you doing? Loud and clear. Excellent. Right. Let me just do these final couple of bits. Close the door. Back on Spirit of Steam. So I've been playing this a little bit since the last live stream because it was a good stream. It's 3 hours, 3 hours in that stream, and a lot going on, trying to get the trains moving, keep them moving. Also trying to make a proper job of showing it off to you guys. I think we did all right, but since then I've been playing it a little bit more, and I've come to really appreciate this one. I think this is, I'm going to say this is the best one yet, if I'm honest, because you guys always ask me, what's your favourite DLC? It's always been kind of Northern Transpennine or London Commuter, I would have said, before this. And now, I think this one's taking that mantle, if it hasn't done already, because I've been really enjoying it. So I thought we'd jump back in for an hour or so and do a couple of scenarios, really. So this is the first one that I've picked out. The tables have turned. I'm doing them through the journey mode because you can obviously do it through this way, but I'm going to try to complete the journey mode, and there's quite a few chapters as we looked at on Tuesday. I completed chapter 1, part way through that. Which one is it in? Now I've come off it, I can't find it. Oh, the tables have turned, there we go. There it is. I'm good, Puzzle Peanut, thanks very much. Good to know you're okay. Hey Myrtle, nice to see you. Hope you're enjoying your new Train Sim world. Tables are turned, right, let's get into this one. So, if you saw the community post, I'm going to do Train Sim World now. If I've got time later today, we'll jump into a tourist bus, and then tomorrow I've got all afternoon pretty much, I think, tomorrow. So, lawn mowing sim could be on the cards. Let's see how it goes. Oh, this looks good, doesn't it? Welcome to the Crewe Loco Sheds. We need to turn this locomotive at the turntable, bring it into service, go to the turntable to start. That's good. I didn't realise there was a turntable at the Crewe end as well. I know we've got one at Lime Street Station. So let's do that. Once we get underway, just let me know what the game sound is like, because I know on Tuesday some of you said it was difficult to hear me over the sound of the engine, so once we get going, just let me know. This is great. Can we just take a minute to look at this? This is brilliant. Look at all these engines just waiting. I need to watch where I'm going in case I get run over as well. I love it. Right, let's get back to the job in hand, which is the turntable. Now this is going to operate a little bit different to those other turntables we've got on Sand Patch, etc. So it says stand at the turntable. Align the far end of the turntable with the locomotive. Fair enough. Right, which way? I know I'm going to go the wrong way, and I did. Which way does it want me to go? Hang on a minute. Let's do this again. We'll go this way. And again. One more. Right, climb aboard the Loco. How do I get off this now? Ah, triangle. I thought I was stuck for a minute then. Right, let's climb on board. So this is the Jubilee again. Which one's this? Palestine. There is a forum post where Dovetail have posted all the names of the Jubilees that you can see in the game as a kind of train spotting list, and I meant to print that off actually because I've seen quite a few of these. I'm sort of keeping them in my head at the moment as the ones I've seen, so I might print that off and see if I can drive all of them over time. So right, sit in the driver's seat. Let's get the reverser in backwards. Release the brakes. Open the regulator. So let's just check this now. Once that should be open to start until we move. The cylinder cock should be open as well. Open the regulator. Now we can close this. And we can close those. Let's take a look outside. We're not fully on yet. So let's take the brakes off. That should do us. Let's just check the back. Yeah, we're good. Right, let's go back in. It's a tight squeeze. Right, so we stand at the turntable. So, okay, we can go anti-clockwise again, can't we? I love this type of stuff in the game. Just gets you immersed in what's going on. And I don't know with this, I don't know whether each driver would have the responsibility for turning his own loco, or whether there's somebody assigned to the turntable full time, somebody that works in the yard, for example. I guess it depends how many trains are going in and out, doesn't it, if you've got somebody full time. Right, let's have a look how we're doing. Let's carry on, got quite a way to go. There's so much to explore on this route though. The other thing as well is I haven't changed my mind from Tuesday. Tuesday I was very much using the crib sheet that Dovetail put out to drive the Loco. Because, you know, if you've been watching before Tuesday, you know I was a bit apprehensive about how difficult it was going to be to actually drive the trains. But you know what? They've made it so that it's pretty accessible for all skill levels. And I stand by that as well. We've got a little bit to go, haven't we? I stand by that, and the more I've used it, and I haven't been on this yet extensively. But we did 3 hours on Tuesday. I've probably done another 3 hours since then, and already I can now operate the train without having to look at the crib sheet, which is pretty good. I've also got better at the hill starts, etc. as well, which is another thing that was difficult, because there's a couple of hill starts you need to do. So, you know, if you haven't picked this up yet and you're worried about will you be able to run the Steam channel, I would say just go for it, because it's pretty straightforward. Right, back in the cab, set the brakes to release. Steam pressure's good, so let's open the regulator. Now, the other thing I'll quickly do, quite fast coming off there, let me just have a quick look at the map, because this is quite a complicated area, but I think we're good. The path's been set for us. Puzzle Printer says, what's the trick on the hill start? I'll mention it to you now. We'll see if we do one. I'll show you, obviously, with a bit of a demonstration. But basically, don't put too much regulator in. So you'll start with your reverser at 75. Put in about 20% on the regulator, but then quickly move the reverser down to 50. And as you do that, increase the regulator up more to compensate. So think of it as like a set of scales, and as one goes down, the other goes up, because as you drop the reverser, more pressure goes into the where you can see there on the top dial, into the boiler pressure, because as you add regulator, your steam pressure drops, so you can compensate it by dropping the reverser and putting in the regulator. So pretty quickly you can get the regulator up to 100%, which then takes you up the hill no problem. In fact, you start accelerating up the hill. You don't just maintain it, you can accelerate up the hill. So it's difficult to say without actually showing it to you. So hopefully we will get one of those hill starts to do. I'll show you. The other problem that I had on the live stream was getting that freight train to move. We had to abandon it. To finish preparation for the service, reverse it to the station, coupled to the carriages. Yeah, so I had the trouble with the freight service, and I thought it was because it was on a hill, but actually it wasn't. It was, as I kind of suspected, some of the wagons, that if they sit behind the engine, it cuts off the brakes to the wagons at the back, because the vacuum pipe doesn't travel from the engine all the way along, so the brakes stay on. So you have to jump out and manually run along the train and pull the cord to release the brakes. So we were trying to move it with the brakes on. So again, just a learning thing, really. Right, let's get this into backwards. Yeah, more power, less speed, correct. That's exactly right, yeah. Open the regulator. So we're going into Crewe station. So let's just double check now, because this is where we'll get unstuck. This could be signal controlled though, so I think we're okay. Yes, yeah, absolutely correct. Puzzle Peanut, yeah. I don't know what you guys think as well. This DLC's captured the era perfectly for me. I obviously wasn't around in this era, but you know, from what you see on TV and film, it really does feel as if you've gone back in time to the late 50s. Every time I've picked it up to play it, I thought, you know, it's great. Such a different vibe to the other DLCs. I'm just taking it easy now in this yard. So going back to that hill start, I've got the regulator, sorry, not the regulator, the reverser still at 75%. I could probably drop it, but we're going to couple to these coaches, and then we're going to probably, I'm assuming, do a service as part of this scenario. So I'll leave it at 75. We've got to stop here, so let's get the regulator closed. Yeah, puzzle peanut. Yeah, there needs to be a bit of soot. I imagine it's a very dirty place inside this engine. Contact the signaller. Proceed at restricted speed. So again, I think this is all signal controlled, so we don't need to set any points. And I already saw as well, the other thing that's quite amusing, I already saw in the Creators Club, there's people creating Thomas the Tank Engine trucks and faces for the engines. I don't know how long they're going to last. They'll probably get pulled, to be honest, because I imagine it won't want to run into any copyright issues. But I guess people could make an engine that doesn't exist in Thomas the Tank Engine, and is that copyright? I suppose you could argue that it's based on the Thomas stuff, but yeah, I saw various trucks. Some of the trucks were quite funny. Some of the faces people had put on those. Being as it's a public holiday here, they might get away with it for a few days, but then I'm sure it'll get pulled come Monday. Put a little bit of brake in because I don't want to ram into these coaches. That wouldn't do us any favours. It's interesting because this platform here, I've left Crewe station on this platform many times. This wall here is all the same. All this is exactly the same. Yeah, Puzzle Pinner, I hope some of it does stay on, to be honest. Because it's nostalgic, isn't it? Right, we can now start this Blackpool Central service, although we will be relieved by another driver at Acton Bridge, because that's where the main line will carry on, so that makes sense. Let's get the doors open. Now what I can do is, in preparation, is put the reverser into fully forwards. And those should be open whilst we're here. We'll leave those as they are. We've got a fire lady again. In fact, you know what? I've had a lady doing this job more than a man so far. So I think we'll call her Joyce. She's our regular fire lady. So Joyce is doing her thing. Yeah, her hands are clean as well, look. So, combination brakes to release. Get that fully open. Now we need to wait for the vacuum brake to be 21. That's good. Then we can close it. And put a bit of regulator in. Yeah, so this is what I mean, Puzzle Pinner. So we can actually do the same thing. We can actually do the same thing. It's not a hill start, but basically we've put the regulator in. Now once we're going, we can put down the reverser to 50, which will help the steam pressure stay where it is. Now on a hill start, we've got a 20 speed limit here, so I can't really do it. But on a hill start, I would be now putting in more regulator. Then as we bring the regulator up to 100, we drop the reverser back down to about 25 and leave it on 25. And you should find that that steam pressure will sit pretty much on the needle the whole time. So I think now even we'll drop the reverser to 25. We're speeding a little bit, but we're going to go into a 90 very soon. The animations are great, Puzzle Peanut, yeah. Right, let's get some speed in. Can pretty much open it up now. Just as we leave Crewe. Is my voice okay over the sound? Let me go in the cab. Can you still hear me okay? Because it's quite noisy inside. It's not too bad outside. Hello Mikeyverse, how are you? Thanks for coming in. In hot summer, imagine the heat in this steam near the oven. Oh, the fire is, well, you just need to take one look at it. It's a furnace basically, isn't it? It's going to be very, very hot. Very hot. Hey Farah, how you doing? Mower convert. Yeah, I think we'll do some of that tomorrow. I've got quite a bit of time tomorrow afternoon. Up to now, that is, unless somebody changes it, which is possible. But I think we'll do some of that, some lawn mowing sim tomorrow afternoon if you're around. Puzzle Peanut says, you're already a pro, Tintin. I wouldn't go that far. Let's see if we get this service to where we need to be. Hey Darko, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. I just love it. I honestly, I can't tell you how exciting this is. The other thing that I've mentioned to you guys before is that before this DLC came out, I was saying to you really I could take it or leave it. I'm not a Steam fan train. I've never seen a lot of people really like Steam trains. I've never really seen the fascination, to be honest. But I've played this since Tuesday, and I've only had access since Tuesday. I didn't have early access. I'm kind of seeing what it is, and that's a simulator that's given me that experience, not the real thing. So I'm kind of understanding. Oh, this is neat, isn't it? Look at this. And if a simulator can make you appreciate steam engines the first time, they've done something right there, haven't they? And that's what I've been thinking this week. Every time I've jumped into this, I've got right into it. I've got really immersed into it. They did do good, Puzzle Peanut, yeah. So you see that boiler pressure needle now is below the 225. I've just dropped the regulator a little bit. You can see in the hood, got some wheel slip actually, but you can see in the hood the 25 is the position of the reverser, so I've dropped it to 25 where we'll leave it. The 47 is the regulator, 100 being the top when it's fully open. But we're nearly at the speed limit, so we can drop the regulator more. And as I drop the regulator, you see that needle going back up again. The boiler pressure's going back up to that 225. So I know, looking on the forums, a lot of people have struggled to maintain that boiler pressure and come to a complete stop. So it's just learning that balance. So I've got the regulator completely closed right now, and once you see that needle go to 225, if it tries to go above because we're coasting, you'll hear the safeties come on. There they go. and that's what stops the boiler exploding. It's noisy, but you can see there. So any excess we've got will come out of the safeties. Now I've got the sound turned down. I think I've got the master game sound down at 65, so I hope the sound is still good for you guys. But I wanted to make sure you could hear me and the locos as well. So let me know if anything's a bit too low. 1.5 miles down to Winsford, and we're stopping there. There's a freight going back towards Crewe. So we've got a mile, let's put some brake in. Gradually bring it down. So remember, on the braking, in the hood there, the black BC dial is the loco brake, and the vacuum is the rest of the train. And I'm hoping I haven't left this too late, because we've only got 500 yards left. But it's fine, we'll reverse. This is Puzzle Peanut saying I'm a pro, see? I do too much talking. Straight through, there we go. But it will still come to a stop quite quickly. And we'll just back it up, providing we've not got a red signal. It's fine. That's the brakes full on. So let's put it in 75% backwards. Take the brakes off. That's going to take some time for the brakes to come off. And I hope that signal we passed doesn't stop us getting back into the station. There's a bit of wheel spin there because the brakes are still on. You see as they come off, just gradually. Let's see if we can get into the station. I don't want to hit this. I think we could be alright because the stop marker is 495 and the red is 536. But is that from the engine or from the back of the train? I think it's 500 from the back of the train, isn't it? Oh, I flew, yeah, I'm still a pro. I flew through the stop like a pro, exactly. It's 500 from me, right, okay. So I might just get the back end in the station. Not sure. Is it that one? I'll just see how far I can get. Everyone's just going to have to move up the platform. That'll do. That's not a bad recovery, is it? So what we need to do is get it backing forward. Should really have those open. Yeah, there's cows everywhere. There is. You did hear a cow. They're everywhere. Are they in this field? There you go. I don't see them. There's quite a few. There is a scenario actually where cows cross the line. That very much did remind me of sort of a Thomas the Tank Engine story. There was always things on Thomas the Tank Engine going wrong, wasn't there? Like cows on the line and crashing through the buffers into the Fat Controller's breakfast room and that kind of thing. Hey Laserjet, how you doing? How are you today? Thanks for coming in. Right, we're ready to go. The brakes again are going to take a while to come off. By the way, everybody give Laserjet a follow as well, if you don't follow him already. Laserjet has got a very nice channel, so drop in and see Laserjet there. Laserjet's another ambassador. Right, let's get those closed. I'm good, Laserjet, thanks. Yeah, not bad at all. So, let's drop the reverser to 50. Keep that pressure up. Get the regulator in. So, Hartford is the next one, 4.2. So now, let's drop this to 25. We should be able to get full regulator then. That's fully open now. Oh, this looks good. I need to get the if you've got this DLC, there is a free livery for it, just in case you didn't know, the Jubilee livery, the Queen's Jubilee Special livery, and that is available for free in the Creators Club. It's one that Dovetail created themselves, so go and pick that one up. I still need to get that. I'm giving you the advice, and I've not picked it up yet, but I will do. Yeah, Farah, that is the same Laserjet, definitely, yes. Yeah, Laserjet's got real steam engine experience. Unlike me, I'm still learning it. I've done all right this week, you know. I'm actually quite proud of the fact I've been able to pick this up and get it going. I was a little bit concerned that I'd make a complete fool of myself, but actually I don't think I've done too bad, apart from that stop just then. But we're all allowed one or two, you know, mistakes. These things soon get up to speed as well, actually. One thing actually that I saw on Laserjet's channel that I didn't know about was this roof vent. I didn't know about that. Let a bit of light in. You can also open these coal doors, which is pretty neat as well. You can have a look at the coal. It's those little things, isn't it, that they put in, the little detail items that I quite appreciate, you know. Got some wheel slip, so let's close the regulator a little bit, and that'll get our steam back up. Yeah, I watched your video last night, LaserJet, on the West Somerset, and that was quite enjoyable. Right, I'm going to shut the regulator off this time because we've got a mile to go, and I don't want to shoot through this station again. Let's see how we do this time. I'm probably a bit hot again here, actually. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, aren't I? Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Still doing 50. Yep, straight through. Alright, I'm not doing too well today with this, am I? The passengers have spent more time travelling backwards than they have forwards at this point. $200, 300 yards through the station. Puzzle Peanut says, gotta say, loving the animation of the woman helping you, Tintin. That's Joyce. There's Joyce. LaserJet has a lady helping him called Abigail. Mine's called Joyce. We've all got our own fire ladies that help us out. Right, these brakes need to come off before I can go backwards. There we go. Yeah, everyone say hello to Joyce. Right, the next station after this, I'm going to try and not get through the station. I'm going to actually try and stop on time and on the money. You know, in the last live stream, I must have been overcautious, which is why I stopped at every station. Isn't it funny, once you get used to something, you probably take a few more liberties, and you end up shooting through the station like this. Complacency, it's called, isn't it? But we've not held up people too much. There's only a couple of people waiting for this one. The ones that are worried are the ones that wanted to get off. Right, let's get the brakes in. Because what I don't want to do is spad. That's what I don't want to do. Right, doors open. Let's get the reverser ready to go. Because this is a scenario, we've not got a timetable up there in the top left, so it's not asking us to be somewhere at a certain time, which is a good thing. Although if there is a relief driver meeting us to take it up the West Coast Main Line, which is what the instruction was at the beginning, he's going to be sat around wondering what's going on. There's Joyce. She's not even wearing gloves today. Her nails are going to be a right sight. There she goes. Come on, chap, how are you getting on? You've already missed it once. You're lucky I came back. Come on. Come on, madam. Right, if you're not getting on, we're going. That's fine. Right. Acton Bridge. Actually, Acton Bridge is where the relief driver is taking over, so let's get there. Still waiting for the brakes to come off. There we go. Joyce is hardcore. She is. Look, she's still going. Oh no, she's having a break. There she goes. Put some regulator in. We'll cut back the reverser again. So it's the same sequence every time, and you just repetition. You just pick it up from repetition. It seems very, very difficult at the beginning, but just repetition, you'll be fine with it. Quick picture for the album. Joyce doesn't need gloves. Yeah, Joyce is very good. How are we doing with the boiler pressure? Pretty good. No problems there. The other thing to remember as well, and again I saw this on the forums, when you first jump in to the DLC, the fireman is set to manual, so you've got to do all the fireman stuff, all the Joyce activities yourself, and that will catch you out. So I wonder if DTG will make it so that the default is to have the fireman on auto, because I haven't done any manual firing yet. I think there's enough to do at this moment in time, just driving. But at some point, we'll try and do the firing as well. But you know, you wouldn't do the driving and the firing in real life, would you? All at the same time, not one person. So it doesn't make sense really. But the other thing it makes me think of though, because lots of people want multiplayer, don't they? And already with this DLC, we've got a driver and we've got a fireman. So are they going to allow you to just be the fireman, perhaps, as a start? Now that might not be a multiplayer thing. That might be, you know, you can just ride along with an AI driver, as we've got a fireman now, but you can do the fireman's job. And if you don't do the fireman's job correctly, the train could stop. So it actually could be quite a good role, couldn't it, that? I just thought about that the other day. Maybe in a future release they'll do that. And from then you could be the guard, or you could be, you know, whatever. It's probably a long way off, but you can see there that some of that idea is already in the game as of this DLC. We've only ever had the driver before in all the DLCs, so I don't know what the thinking is there, but it's possible, isn't it? Right, cautious this time, look. Coming into the platform, 25 miles per hour. I'll just release all the brakes, see if we can roll in. Yeah, I think Puzzle Peanut, it could be an idea they've got up the sleeve. So this is Acton Bridge. Yeah, you see, we didn't want to shoot through this one because we got a red at the end of the platform. So we would have had no going back that time. Easy does it. The other thing is as well, don't be worried to stop a little bit short as well. That's my advice. Because that objective marker, once again, it's improved a little bit, but it was quite next to the red signal, wasn't it? So if you do slightly creep over, you've a chance to fail the whole thing. So, should open those while we're stood still. Right, wants us to leave the locomotive. Is this our guy? Is he taking over? Oh no, somebody's already in, look. That was quick. When did this guy pass me? It's Joyce's mate, look. We've got an old lady Crewe now. There it goes. Thanks everyone for coming in. We've got 9 in the chat. Thanks so much for that. Good job. Let's see how you did. So, what are we? 44 minutes it took us to do that. I think the scenario was 45 minutes. So, actually, we didn't do too badly, did we? 6,528 points and a gold medal, which is great. So, let's go on to do another one. Let's have a look what we've got. That was the tables have been turned. Let me just have a look through the menus, see what there is. Really reliable rescue. What's that one? That is a stranded train has phoned free for help. Go and lend a hand. Time for Scouse. Collect carriages bound for Liverpool Lime Street, then return to Edge Hill. Worst winter of all. Rough weather along the line means trains are having to run carefully to manage the loads in the conditions. Shall we do that one? Worst winter of all. Sounds like a good one. I'll do it through the journey mode so that I can tick off the journey. Where's it going to be? Worst winter of all. There we go. Let's do this one. I don't think I've run any yet in adverse weather. I know I've had a lot of comments asking me, does it matter if it's raining, for example? Does it affect the physics and the driving of the train? I think it does, although I've not done it yet. Welcome to Edge Hill Sidings. We'll be running a freight service down to Crewe Basford Hall. Take care in the poor weather. It's expected to get worse. This one's nice, isn't it? Look at the snow. Let's get on board. And this is the 8F this time as well, which is quite handy because we just ran the Jubilee. Right, let's get the reverser to the full 75. Release the brakes. And then we need to open the regulator to get moving. So let's just put a little bit in. So we've got to stop at 300 yards. Let me just double check that everything is set up correctly. I think it will be. I don't think I need to change that one. the opposite direction. Yeah, I think good. So I assume we're going to back onto some of these wagons and then we'll do a full run up to Crewe. Let's just trickle up to this. Both these engines are really nice to drive. And they both operate very, very similar. There's nothing specific that I can remember that I've had to learn to allow me to drive either of them, you know, that's different. Let's just double check the path. I think we're good. We need to couple to the formation of 17 vehicles. Right, so we're going downhill, so we need to be careful. Please do leave me a thumbs up if you're in the chat, I would appreciate that. On our way to that 1,000 magic subscribers. I think we're on, before the stream, we're on 814, so we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. Right, let's back onto these and get coupled. A little bit more. 815 Farah, thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you to whoever that was that subscribed during the stream. I do appreciate that. Right. The reverser needs to go into fully forward. And we can continue the journey. So let's do that. Bit of wheel spin, look. Just very slowly to get the grip. Close those cylinder cocks actually, now that we're moving. So we're on a 0.6 gradient right now. Let me just check the path again. We have got a red coming up. I think we're just going out the same way as we came in. Yep, in fact we got a red right now, so that's fine. Let's add a bit more regulator. We'll drop this to 50. Keep the pressure up. So Puzzle Peanut, this is kind of a hill start, although it's not a severe hill, is it? So you just gotta watch that wheel spin. You see, if I added too much regulator like I just did, it wants to spin the wheels. So just enough to not spin the wheels is the trick. And it'll quite happily maintain where it is. Slightly picking up speed, as you can see there. This is why we need the troublesome trucks in the game, isn't it? From Thomas. listening to the puff there, the smoke. Remember the old troublesome trucks? I think I can. I think I can. You lot are saying this guy's lost it. I can remember Ringo Starr doing his voiceover back in the, what was that? Was that the early 80s? That version. That was the best version. I mean, I liked Thomas the Tank Engine when I was a kid, but when those kind of the kind of train set version, it's all cartoons now, isn't it, these days? But the train set version that they made was very, very clever, the way they did that. And Ringo Starr did the voiceover, didn't he? Still getting a little bit of wheel slip. The boiler pressure's still quite good. So I can decrease the reverser and I should be able to put more regulator in, but not that much. So around 20% for this hill seems to be good for the regulator, and it is steadily increasing. We'll see if we can get it up to that 20 miles an hour. We are changing to a 40 once we've come out of this yard. And we've got 30 miles up to Basford Hall at Crewe. Let's just check a look at the map. I don't know why I've got the objective marker. Is this something I was meant to do? No, the objective is stop at Basford Hall. Let me just have a look in here. They're closed, so that's good. The large ejector is meant to be closed. Small ejector is fully open, so that's good. Right, so I'm not sure why the objective marker, even though we can see it over there 30 miles, I don't know why the objective marker on the map is on the actual train itself. That doesn't seem right. Anyway, we'll carry on. .1 gradient. It's getting a bit steeper. Now, we can, of course, put some sand down, if I can find it. I can never find it. Where's the sand? Sand. There's the sand. Want the sand on the front, don't we? And you see, now we can put a bit more regulator in. And the sand is helping us get the grip this hill. So always use the sand. The thing about the sand is you need to remember to turn the sand off as well. So it's a case of me finding it again now. There it is. So always put the sander back to the middle. So the reverser is at 25, so that's good for us maintaining speed. Actually, we're going downhill again, but I think actually we go uphill very soon, if I remember rightly. So I'm not going to worry too much But we have got a red signal. So you see this gradient now 2.8%, and we've got a red coming up. But it is the other side of the hill, I think, which is good. Hey Jack, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Are you playing Spirit of Steam, Jack? Did you pick it up? I'm absolutely loving it. This now is the best DLC for me. Get the brakes on. Given my history of braking, a little bit of wheel slip there. Look at that, sliding down the hill. That was interesting. Yeah, fair enough, Jack, yeah. Yeah, see, to me, this is my model railway. I did have a model railway years and years ago. I didn't have much. I'm trying to remember what I had. I had a 37. I had a very old steam train. In fact, I think my first train set was a Hornby one, which was just an oval-shaped track. But it did come with a small, like, I wonder what kind of train it was. It was a navy blue, sort of little tiny steam train with a couple of carriages, I remember. But I had a 37 that I got, and I also had an HST. I was back in the 70s, so it was in the old intercity colours. Remember having that. I've got that somewhere still. I might have to dig that out. I bet that's worth a few quid. I think I had a couple of others as well. I'm just trying to remember what they were. So I had it's interesting that. So I had the HST as a model train. We've got the HST here in Train Sim World 2, but in real life I've never ever seen an HST because I'm not from that kind of part of the country where you would normally see them, and I know they've been around for a long time, but I've never actually seen one in real life. Right, let's have a look. There must be some... Oh, there's a train here. Here we go. There's a train in front of us crossing, which is why we're waiting. Oh, nice, Jack. Which part of the country are you in, Jack? You don't have to give me exactly, just the general area. Right, so we're clear to go. The good news is we're on the downhill right now, so we don't need to give it much. Oh, down near Severn Valley. Right, that's interesting, yeah. Hey, I don't think I've seen a 52 either. Don't think I've seen a 52. I think 52s were all southern, sort of southern region, weren't they, down there? So that's a bit far away from my sort of geographical area there. And you're on one yesterday. That's pretty cool. So near me I've got the East Lancs Railway. It's not far from me. And the other year I saw that there was actually, I saw there was a Class 33 there one weekend. So I travelled up just to have a look at that, because again, I'd done miles and miles and miles in the Class 33 that's in Train Sim World, but never seen one in real life. So I just went up there one weekend just to see the 33, just to see in real life, and I actually got a look in the cab and a look round it, and I was amazed, because I've only seen it in the game. I was amazed at it being exactly the same in real life. The sound and everything was perfect. So it's quite nice from that respect. I think now when I go anywhere as well, I'm going to look for these two locos, because there's a lot of steam trains knocking about. I'll have to have a look if there's any locally on any heritage lines up this end. Because before Spirit of Steam, I didn't know what an 8F was or a Jubilee, to be honest. Now I'm kind of interested in it. It's really got me thinking about this time period and this period of sort of railway history as well. And next time I see a steam train at one of these railways, I will know what to look for. Because I used to just say, "Oh yeah, it's a steam engine," and there's lots of people getting excited about steam engines. I wasn't one of them, but just since Tuesday, it's amazing how that's changed since Tuesday when this came out. So you tend to see 172s and 68s, yeah. No, I didn't find the traffic lights, Jack. Were you winding me up? Is there really traffic lights in Tourist Bus? The other thing I haven't found yet in Tourist Bus is the dirt track. So I don't have to take the windy road. I'm going to have to look for that. I've not been on for a few days. I need to go and have a look where that dirt track is. I'll do that later. That happened to you with farming sim? You mean you weren't really interested, Puzzle Peanut, in farming or anything to do with farming, and then you played the game and actually you picked up a bit of an interest, and by the time you knew which tractor it was, yeah. And that's what I mean, if a game can do that to you, if you've had no prior experience of what's in the game that you're playing, you know, from a real life perspective, and then it makes you want to go and look up the thing you're doing in real life, if that makes sense, then they must have done something right in the game to capture your interest. Yeah, here comes the whistle, just for Jack. Hi, SNCF. Chose you over Joe. Oh, he's streaming, is he, Joe? Joe's streaming, right. Yeah, he streams every day, doesn't he? Yeah, 815 SNCF, yeah, 815. We've not got 4 to go, have we, until that magic 1000. Sounds like TS. I think they re-recorded everything, didn't they, Jack, for this DLC? Yeah, really enjoying it. SNCF, yeah. Apart from overshooting a couple of platforms just in the earlier scenario, but that's mainly down to me talking and not concentrating on what I'm doing more than anything. No, I've not done a Preston service yet. I wish it did go to Preston. Preston's quite an impressive station, actually. If you've not been there, just Google it. Google Preston Station. It's quite big. I'm sure it will come to this game one day. Well, I hope. I've got my fingers crossed. So many possibilities for different routes from Preston. West Coast Main Line, of course, is the obvious one, which is part of what we've got in this DLC. You can, of course, also go off to Blackpool. There's a line off to Blackpool South, Blackpool North. You can go up to Lancaster and Morecambe. You can also go up the Cumbrian coast through Barrow all the way around to Carlisle. East Lancs, you can go to East Lancs. So there's so many different routes you can run from Preston Station if it was in this game. Windermere branch, yeah, exactly. Take the West Coast Main Line to Oxenholme and then go off to Windermere. Have I been on Northern Transpennine yet? I haven't yet. I was going to have a look on Creators Club, see if anybody had already set up a scenario for that, and if not, I was going to set one up. And the other thing for you regulars as well, the other thing I haven't done on this route yet is run the Class 150. You know I'm going to run the Class 150 everywhere, especially the Northern Rail one. In fact, I think I did a small video on it. I have got a Merseyrail Class 150, which we can run out of Lime Street. That would make sense. Yeah, it looked like the passengers are in a time warp, but it'd be good to run something like that up this line. Looks like a stuck train up ahead. Let's stop and check they're okay. Fair enough. Right, so half a mile. I think we'll start braking now, knowing that these freight trains tend to want to fly off the rails, as we saw in the last live stream. Yeah, fair enough. SNCF, yeah, that'd be good. So I want to put a little bit more brake in, but I don't, because I know what will happen. It will fly off the rails. I'll put a little bit more in. Okay, there's a big snowdrift there. Is that going to derail me? Nope. And let's stop. Let's hope we don't fly off the track. See, they've said that's going to be fixed with the braking. The braking's not quite right on the freight trains. Right, it's going to make me go backwards again, isn't it? Because I'm not on the objective markers. Let's do that. Get the brakes off. And we'll go and see what's up with this guy. Right, let's put some rear sand on. I need to learn exactly where the sand is on this. Where are you? Oh, there, it's that big handle, isn't it? How can I miss that? Right. Right, we're actually sliding. Let's try this again. Take the brakes off. Come on. Right, we're going, but we're going very slowly. But as long as we're moving, that's good enough. So we'll just pull back up to the front of this train, just see what's going on. Looks to me though, as if they've hit some kind of snowdrift there. Yeah, no problem, SNCF. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, we need to be careful because there was people on the track down here. I can probably turn that sand off now that we're moving, I think. So we'll stop on the marker as it suggests. We could stop now, but there's quite a lot of snow there, isn't there? Right, let's close the regulator, put some brake on. We'll get the reverser ready as well for departure. Is everything okay? Thanks for checking in with us. We just got caught out by a huge snowdrift. Luckily we haven't derailed, but we might be here for a while until we can free ourselves. Could you inform the signaller at Ditton Junction that we're stuck on the line? There's the fireman doing his bit. So we're going to carry on to Ditton Junction and we'll stop there and we'll let them know what's going on. SNCF, go with the blood and custard, I reckon. Right, so we'll slowly creep past this. You would think the heat from the train had help with that, wouldn't you? Help clear enough to be able to move some of that, but I guess it's the grip, isn't it? It's the grip for the wheels to get moving, which is the main issue. .2 miles we've got. It's actually quite an interesting scenario, this one. Let's put a bit of regulator in. And I'll bring back the reverser. There we go. There's the view from our brake van. Thanks everyone for coming in, appreciate it. Just did a couple of scenarios this afternoon, so this is the second one that we've done today. Probably do a little bit more of this over the weekend, because I'm going to be playing it anyway. I can't stop playing it, to be honest. There's so much stuff to play as well. So just under 2 miles till Ditton. Drop the reverser down now to its 25, which we can use just for cruising along. We haven't got Joyce on this run. Joyce must be just working the Jubilees. We've got a chap with us this time around. Yeah, both of those will feature Puzzle Peanut. If I get a chance today, I'll do Tourist Bus later on. If I get a chance today. If not, then definitely tomorrow. Just on Tourist Bus, I haven't fired it up yet since the patch. So I don't know for me particularly, because I haven't got a wheel. I don't know if anything's changed for me in that patch. But we'll find out. Right, 0.7 of a mile, so we'll start putting some brake in. Just in case the snow is affecting what we're doing. Yeah, it's been a good week off, SNCF yet. Can't complain. As always, it's gone very, very quickly though. John, Joyce and John, yeah. Right, we'll call him John then. Apologies to any real Johns we might have in the chat. So I'm assuming we're going to have to jump out and go to the signal box once we get into Ditton Junction. I believe as well, talk about signal boxes, I believe as part of the mastery for this route there is a signal box that you can go inside, which is the second tier of the mastery, so I've not unlocked that yet. So that should be good. I don't know where that is, that signal box, but there is one. Right, we're going down in front of us. Where's the signal box then? Is it there at the end of the platform? Right, let's stop there. Inform the signaller of the stuck train. Okay, so we'll leave John doing his thing while we just... let's open these while we're stopped. Right. Okay, this is interesting. Where are we meant to go now? Maybe I wasn't meant to go up the stairs. There we go, there's the signal box. Let's just quickly make sure nobody's going to run us over. Here he is. I just passed a stuck train on the fast up line between Speke and Halebank. Thankfully everyone is okay, but it may be some time before they can clear the snow. Thanks for letting me know. I'll close the fast up lanes and route traffic onto the slow lines instead. Alright. I don't know about this guy being the signalman. He looks... His eyes were rolling into the back of his head then. Did you see that? Watch, look. There he goes. Wow. They want to check his safety ticket, I think. Yeah, I don't know NCF why he stood outside. I think he's lost the plot a little bit there. He's probably sat there thinking there's been about 3,000 Train Sim World players played this scenario this week, and every single one of them has come down here to tell me about that train, and I'm getting a bit sick of it. So he's come to meet us now because he knows all of us are going up there. Right. So let's get ready to depart. I wonder if it'll let us all the way through to Crewe now. Get the brakes off. The Jubilee coming in. So the grip is definitely less with the snow. You can see that wheel spin there. Normally it wouldn't do this. So as I said, we can sand. So that makes a massive difference. You can get underway with the sand. Also open the window, probably freeze. But it's a better view if we do that. Right, let's turn the sand off, then we don't waste it. Oh, that's the regulator, not that one. That's what we want. Has he gone back in? No, he's still stood there. He's waiting for the next player to come along to do this scenario. So he's thinking I might as well stay here. Just didn't like the way his eyes were rolling into the back of his head. Right, 24 miles to the Crewe sorting sidings, middle arrival lane number 2. How the heck do you navigate to there? It's a good job the signalman's doing that, isn't it? There's route learning and there's route learning. How the heck do you even look at those yards and know where you're going? Right, I'm going to put the reverser down. We're on a hill now. I'm going to put it down to 25. Got a slight bit of wheel spin. So I'm going to put in a bit of sand. Leave the sand on the front. Then we can open the regulator. $78. Still maintaining that 26 miles per hour, which is good. 27, so we're increasing. It's going the right way. I wonder actually with these steam trains, I'd be interested to know the wheels themselves. What kind of mileage do you get out of these wheels? Because there seems to be a lot of wheel slip, and that obviously would damage the wheel and would damage the rail in certain circumstances. I just wonder how much, how many sort of miles do you get out of the wheels generally before they would need changing, or do the wheels not get changed? Do they get maintained in some way? Do they go through some kind of machine to make sure they're roadworthy, as it were? It'd be interesting to know that. It's the type of question that's coming into my mind since I've been playing this DLC. How did they, what did they, etc, etc. This is quite a long slope, this one. These are Runcorn bridges. So we've got Runcorn station after this, and then we've got another quite a long slope on the other side. Yeah, I don't know, Puzzle Peanut. I mean, I haven't found, apart from the braking, which is a known issue for the freight trains, I haven't found any other issues yet. I know on the forum you would think there was, you would think the thing's riddled with bugs if you read some of the stuff on there. But I think, we've said it before, haven't we? Some players will get the DLC immediately, go into test mode, and try to find issues. But I've certainly not found anything. I've not found anything that's stopping me playing it. Yeah, I don't really care if John or Joyce, at this stage you can't see the call on the shovel. It's not stopping me playing it. But things like that are stopping people playing it. I'm not sure why. So this is where we get the big slope right now. Just close that regulator a little bit because we've got that wheel spin. But you're right, Puzzle Pin, it does run really well. It's like I'll finish this and then I'll come back on it tomorrow. I'll be just as excited tomorrow to play it as I was today, you know. I look forward to playing it. Got John here. John puts his spade down. No sooner has he put his spade down, he picks it back up again. Yeah, rush hour was a bit of a big step for them, wasn't it? But I think, you know, they've said that. I think they've openly said that they tried to do something they'd not done before, and it just ended up being a little bit too much work for them to get out when it did. And there's still a couple of issues now, isn't there, with that? But they have said, though, didn't they, that after Spirit of Steam there is one more German route which they mentioned, which they've not said too much about yet. Nobody knows where this German route is going to be. There's a German route, but then after that they're going into a period of going back over the DLCs and just making sure that the long list of issues they've got with each DLC gets fixed. So at least they're going to go and do that, so that's a good thing. You know, once they've reached a level where it's on a kind of level plateau with fixes, they can then turn their minds back to making the new DLCs again. Now it could be that, I mean, Dovetail has said that's what they're going to do. It could also be, of course, that the other third parties could be making DLC, so Rivet, Skyhook, etc. They could all be making DLCs. It might only be Dovetail that's going back doing the fixes. You know, someone could still churn out DLCs whilst the important work is going on in the background. "21 miles to Crewe." Still going up this slope. This is the big one. This one and the one out of Liverpool Lime Street are the two big ones. But I would like to know how popular this one's been so far. You know, I'd like to see some kind of official numbers, because I imagine, you know, people who've not bought a DLC for quite a while probably had their eye on this one as a way of coming back into it. And I would also suspect that for new players, if they've not done it already, come August when the major update usually comes out, the major core update, I bet there'll be some sort of bundle for new players. So Rush Hour was last year's bundle, wasn't it? In August. And I think this one will feature this route. Right, so we're up over that hill now and on the other side of it. Still got 20 miles to Crewe. Now, did I leave the sander on? That's the thing. I did. So let's put that in the middle. So obviously in reality you would run out of sand. I don't believe in Train World you're going to run out of sand, so you could probably leave that on the whole time. But you know, in real life you definitely would have only so much sand available to you for that. Sutton Weaver signal box there. Still got some wheel spin, so I'm going to try and take the regulator down a bit, just to help with that. That's the regulator fully closed now because we're going downhill, the other side of that hill up from Runcorn. 54 miles per hour. There's the safeties that have just come on again because we're freewheeling. That will keep the boiler pressure at 225 and stop it exploding, as we mentioned before. Swinging into this corner is really nice. So I believe right here is where we join the West Coast Main Line. The West Coast Main Line goes under here, carries on, off up to Preston and the north. Hey Tesco, how are you? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm fine, thank you. Just use a little bit of brake. Got a 55 coming up. Yeah, did you see that Tesco? Yeah, I did the first look. And I really enjoyed it. I was saying in the comments there that that first look was meant to be around 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You saw the end result. It ended up going for about an hour. I honestly, there's one point in the video where I think it's at the summing up at the end. And I think I say, you know, what have we done? Have we done half hour, a bit more than half an hour? It seems like 5 minutes. In actuality, we'd done an hour, and that's how much I was getting into it. I didn't even realise what time we were on. So I'm looking forward. I've done a couple more contracts since the first look, just to get used to it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to putting that on the channel. Probably play some of that tomorrow, actually. Right, so we have 16 miles to go to Crewe. So I need to get the regulator open. I'm going to put some sand on. It is quite satisfying, Tesco. Yeah, exactly right. And everybody had said to me on the other streams, you need to get Lawnmowing Sim. It's perfect for this channel. And I had looked at it before, and just with playing Train Sim World and a couple of other things, I just didn't get around to it. And you know, thanks to you guys for suggesting it again. It's actually quite good. And you're right, it's right up my street. It's very relaxing, isn't it? Yeah, it's Puzzle Peanut's fault. So there's a lot of wheel slip. The regulator's on 57% open, but there's still a lot of wheel slip. We've got the sand on. So this is a result of the snow. It's definitely less grippy. So just ease back on it a little bit. See there, we've just come out of the wheel slip. It's kind of on the edge of the wheel slip just now. Just where we are. But it's fine, because, you know, around 40 mile an hour is still a decent speed in this weather. Tesco, yours is in debt. Got a bunch of lawns. I've not got that for yet. I've literally done 2 or 3. I've done 2 or 3 contracts, I think. Poor House, how you doing? Poor House is back in. What's up, Tintin? You have the volume perfect. I feel like I'm on the train relaxing. That's good to know, because I did whack the volume down a chunk after Tuesday, because some people said they couldn't hear me properly when I was in the cab like this. So I have dropped it quite a bit. The sound that I've got it at is probably too low for some of the other routes. But I've made a mental note of what this one needs to be on, and it is relaxing. Poor House, you've hit the nail on the head. And do you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't travelled as a passenger, and I keep intending just to get a cup of tea, sit down, a real cup of tea that is, not a virtual one, jump in the back on the Jubilee, and just travel between Crewe and Lime Street. I might even jump in the brake van, you know, the brake van looks good, the brake van on this one. Because the brake van's got a nice fireplace in it, and it's got working smoke, and it's got a little fire in there to keep the guard warm. A little stove, which is quite nice. We're all watching the stream on the train. Yeah. Right, how are we doing? 13 miles. How's John getting on? Still doing his thing. So what I might do is, before they disappear, I might go on to the Creators Club and get a hold of some of these Thomas items that people are creating, and run a couple of those just for the record before they disappear, because they're gonna. Poor Alf says there's no call on the shovel. No, there isn't, but it's on its way. They're fixing that. They are fixing that, so it won't be long until John's got his call. Yeah, there he goes. He's faking it. He's definitely faking it. Yeah, I was saying that earlier, per house. It's nice to have the call on the shovel, but it doesn't it doesn't personally bother me as long as the main things we're here for, you know, work. You know, the trains work as they should. Reminded you a little bit of the Mafia game. Still got wheel spin. It's very difficult actually to not. If I go, you know, too low with the regulator, there's still some spin because we're on an uphill. You see, it keeps coming on or off. You can't actually tell when you look at the wheels. So it must just be like very negligible sort of wheel spin. You can see there now on the hood, it is spinning. It's just a little bit less grip, isn't it? Don't forget everyone, leave me a thumbs up if that's okay with you. That will help me and get some people in for the next one. Actually, just looking at the chat now, I don't think my cloud bot is working today. Don't think I've seen any messages pop up so far today. So we've still got 10 miles. Let's have a look at the map. Travelling down to Crewe, Crewe's here, so we're going to Basford Hall, so this area right here. Gosh, so complicated, isn't it? Look at that. I don't know how much of that is actually automated or whether all that track has been laid by Dovetail bit by bit. I don't quite understand how that works. But we'll soon be there. Let's try these different views because there's the one on the top. Does that work? Oh, it does work with the ATEP as well. This is a good view, isn't it? You can see John doing his thing. I imagine there's going to be a few railfan shots taken of this view that we'll see on the forums. The fire is really well done inside there. How does that, what I want to know is how does the opening and shutting of the fire doors work? I know there's handles there. So is John, like, does John open that and then shove it in, or does that open and shut itself when it needs coal? Is that a kind of pressure thing that makes it open and shut? Don't quite know that. You know, it kind of opens to say, right, needs topping up, or whether John opens it with the handle, then puts it in, no idea. In case you just joined and you're wondering who John is, that's our fireman. But that's strange as well. I've moved to this view, and my player has disappeared. Look, from the driver's seat. The driver's seat's still down, but it's as if I've climbed up here onto the coal, and I'm sat here. I'm back again now, but I've not got my hat on. There's the cab light, which is a really clever idea. .6 miles, 6.5 now. So this has been quite a good scenario. So we've had the challenge of the snow and the grip. That's the first thing. We've had a couple of red lights while we've had trains crossing the path. We then had to stop for the train on the other line, which had got stuck in a snowdrift. We had to check he was okay. Then we had to go on to Ditton Junction and report it to the signalman that he was stuck on the other track. So there's been quite a bit to do in this one. It's been quite a good one. All we have to do now is get to Crewe safely, and we're good. And Farah says, have the trophies popped as they should do so far? Every one of the ones I've got, yeah, they've popped okay. Yeah. I got the one for 100 miles in the Jubilee just earlier today, which surprised me because I honestly didn't think I'd spent that much time in it. But yeah, 100 miles in the Jubilee, that one popped up. I think there's a similar one for this as well, for the freight, for the 8F. But I can see on the list, Farah, that even though I've not got all the trophies, I can see the percentages, so somebody has. And if you're interested in collectibles as well, because there is a trophy for collectibles, I did notice on the Steam page, Steam as in PC, the PC platform Steam rather than Steam the engine. On the Steam page for the game, there is a guide already to where all the collectibles are. So if you wanted to pick that up and have a wander around the route, which is how I tend to do collectibles. I pick up a few when I see them, but generally I'll get the guide and treat it as a bit of a route learning exercise to have a run around and look at the route from a different perspective. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that guide. I'm going to go around and get the collectibles. So somebody's been busy to get that guide up and on there, and to be honest, I saw it the day after the DLC came out. It was there on Wednesday, so somebody obviously immediately went to work. Mr. NSME, how are you? Thanks for coming in. And you said John has to open and close the fire doors himself manually. Got you, right. It's just the way that it's animated then on here, isn't it? Because if you look here, it just opens. I did wonder that, yeah, whether he was doing it first, then shoveling, but on here he just shovels. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense to have that open a lot, does it? Because you want the heat to stay in. Yeah, Farah Horseshoe still has got issues with the trophies. They still owe me a couple of trophies on there, which is a shame. Yeah, puzzle peanut, no problems. We're about to finish now anyway once we get to Crewe, so I will see you on the next one. Thanks for coming in, as always. Catch you later. Prodigy Gaming. They do all the collectible guides. Oh right, okay, that's worth knowing, yeah. Because I usually just go from the sort of web page guide. So if they're visual, then that's not bad. Let's get some brakes in because we've got a 20 mile an hour coming up. With the problems with this grip, we want to make sure we get some of this speed off. Helps if I take the regulator off though as well, so we're not speeding up against the brakes. So I think we're going to miss this 20, certainly. There it goes. We've also got a 10 coming up. So speed is coming off, fortunately. So I'll just release these brakes a little bit. Now I'm assuming that we're going to get routed in without having to change the points. So, I think we're good. So we've come through Crewe station. We nearly missed it, we were going that fast, and now this is the Basford Hall sidings on this side. I'll check that out, Farah. Thanks for that. So the main message here then I would say is that yeah, definitely the weather is affecting the physics, especially the snow. It's been difficult to get the right kind of grip the whole time. So just be careful with your braking. Not too much regulator when you first start to leave the depot. Plenty of wheel spin, use plenty of sand, and let me go back in, turn the sand off actually, because we've had that on the whole time. This yard is just crazy to try and navigate if you were doing this yourself. I can only imagine there's people that work full time in the yard at this point in time that took care of all these ins and outs. Just over 600 yards. Easy does it, and we should be there. But yeah, it's been a great scenario, this one. It was a 60-minute scenario. Not sure how long this one's actually been running. We'll find out at the end when we get the summary screen. That gentle chuff of the engine is so mesmerising, isn't it? As I said, the trick is keeping that boiler pressure up. You should have no issues if you keep the boiler pressure up. You can see right now the boiler pressure is right on point there on the 225, and it's been pretty much around the whole run as well. So as long as you maintain that, you're pretty good. You just got to worry about your braking then. So we do have a red just after this marker, but it is another, what, 80 yards, so we're good. Take the regulator off. Then we'll brake. Thanks for your work today. Let's see how you did. That was a really good run. I did enjoy that one. And a trophy for that one. Yes, we ran over. It was meant to be a 60-minute. It was actually nearly an hour and 20 that we took with that one. But we did overrun, I guess, where we saw the train that was stopped with the snow drift. We did have to back up. So, wasn't too bad. Quite enjoyed it. Bit of a challenge. It is a bit of a challenge, I would say. I don't know. Actually, let's just check. Because they do have difficulty sort of markers on them, don't they, to show they are to complete. Let's have a look. Worst winter of all, wasn't it? So it's a 3-star scenario, so it's fairly difficult to do, but it's easy enough to get through. You get through it. I think you'll be fine with that. Just take it easy as you go. So I think we'll finish there. So thanks everyone. I do appreciate everyone coming in. Thanks for hanging out with me in the chat. It's been another good one, and we'll be back real soon with some more. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you know when a new video is going out. Thanks guys. Catch you in the next one.